Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
It is gorgeous out here on the patio right now. Lots of sunshine now, but a big roller coaster ride with our temperatures this weekend. I'll show you.
Back in America, accused of murder. This morning, what's next for the man accused of killing a Wake County deputy?
And federal trafficking charges. 2 men will be in court today accused of abducting a teen from Harnett County. We have the latest on the Amber Alert arrests. Thanks for joining us here on your Friday morning, the last day of February. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
I'm Chris Lovingood. Man, March already here. I guess I kind of got to jump on it weering green ahead of St. Patty's Day, I guess. Who knows there. Let's go ahead and get started with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Are you playing outside there today? I'm a little jealous this morning.
Yeah, come on out. But, you know, I'm pretty happy to be in my jacket. This dress is short sleeve, so jacket feels good this morning. It's nice and crisp, absolutely beautiful. I mean, we've had such pretty weather this week. It's just amazing. This is, of course, a live look at the gardens here behind me, looking gorgeous. It is 46 degrees officially at RDU, and right now our wind is coming out of the west at around 3 miles per hour. A little bit colder air came in behind last night's front, so right now it's 43 in Roxborough, 46 in Durham, 43 Southern Pines. We did just jump to 51 in Fayetteville, but it's 48 up in Rocky Mount and Wilson. Running anywhere from 8 or 9 to say 14, 15 degrees colder right now than it was this time yesterday, and the afternoon temperatures will be cooler too. Instead of mid 70s, looking at low to mid 60s. Tomorrow, temperatures will really climb, and then Sunday, we crash right down to winter levels. I'll show you what. Coming up, Ken.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We continue to stay on top of that breaking news we've been following all morning long since it happened. This crash on Globe Road near Briar Creek. Let's get right to Kelsey Coffey, photographer Charles Bradley, giving us a first-hand account of what we know right now, because you can see it's still causing a little bit of issue with traffic right there, Kelsey.
Ken, new within the last hour, Raleigh police say that a driver fell asleep at the wheel and then hit a utility pole. So you should be able to see that truck flipped over there. It looks like crews are trying to work on removing that truck now. We'll also give you a look at video from Sky 5 from a little bit earlier this morning. Now, this crash happened on Globe Road near Briar Creek Parkway. This is less than 10 minutes away from the airport. You may be able to see, that broken utility pole on your screen. Some power lines were impacted, and so far there are 51 power outages in this area, according to Duke Energy. Now, if this area is a part of your morning commute, your drive shouldn't be impacted too much. You can see that they have some cones out here to help redirect traffic, but that driver is said to be okay. He only has minor injuries, and he's in the hospital right now. But Ken, what else can you tell folks?
Yeah, it's good to see traffic getting through in that turn lane right there. Kelsey, appreciate that report. I want to isolate the Beltline a little bit and give you an idea of what's happening there. We're seeing the usual slowdown on the southern loop of the Beltline, maybe 1 or 2 minute delay. Over the northern loop of the Beltline on Capitol Boulevard, Wake Forest Road, Six Forks Road, you might be looking at maybe a 3 to 5 minute delay, but traffic is still moving. A couple of things we want to bring your attention to. This serious crash on New Bern Avenue near Traywick Road. We're not seeing any delays in the area, but just thought you should know about it. In terms of a couple of things on Pool Road, one near Grasshopper, it was causing quite a bit of delay, but not causing any delays in that area any longer. As far as the other major routes coming into the capital city, Wake Forest neighbors, you're looking at a 7-minute delay over the Bull City. Very little to no delays heading into Durham. We're going to isolate I-885. That's usually the troubled spot. If you're going into Durham this morning on I-85, you're looking at a 5-minute delay. If you're leaving Durham, you're looking at a 4-minute delay. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
This morning, the man accused of killing Wake County Deputy Ned Byrd is back in the United States. The sheriff's office announced late last night that Alder Marin Sotelo has been extradited from Mexico. WRAL's Eric Miller is at the Wake County Sheriff's Office this morning. Eric, Marin Sotelo will now stand trial for murder.
And Michelle, after significant delays here, Marin Sotelo will be in court right here on Monday morning. Alder Marin Sotelo escaped from the Piedmont Regional Jail in Virginia nearly 2 years ago. He managed to make it all the way to southern Mexico, the state of Guerrero, before being recaptured. Now that he's back in the U.S., he'll once again be facing first-degree murder charges in the death of Wake County Deputy Ned Byrd. This extradition is coming as good news to those who knew and worked alongside the deputy. Wake County Sheriff Willie Rowe saying in a statement, in part, "We have never stopped working to make sure that justice is served." Now, Wake County DA Lauren Freeman has also been weighing in here, saying that Maureen Sotelo extradition will allow them to now set a trial date in this case. In Raleigh, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
2 men accused of human trafficking a child victim are expected in court today in Harnett County. This is about that Amber Alert issued on Tuesday. Austin Cole and Elihu Mahler are facing kidnapping charges as well. The Amber Alert was sent out after a 15-year-old girl was taken. She was found in Dare County, nearly 200 miles away from her home. Investigators said the men interacted with the girl online. A second Amber Alert was issued yesterday, and this one was for a different 15-year-old girl from Siler City. She was missing for a week before the alert was issued, and now both girls have been found. But it's unclear at this time whether the teenager from Chatham County was lured online. Despite the similarities, authorities say these cases are not connected.
We are working to learn more about a situation outside the McDonald's on Trawick Road in Raleigh. Police responded there just after 7 o'clock this morning. Sky 5 flew over that scene that we just showed you. We saw one person was on the ground near the drive-thru. That person was taken away by ambulance. We have calls out to Raleigh police for more information.
Starting today, new appraisals for property owners in Durham are going in the mail. This is the first reappraisal in Durham since before the pandemic. Many people will be seeing big increases in value and in their taxes too. Now, once you receive your reappraisal in the mail, you can go to the county's website to review the values. You can then compare them to market price and then verify the listing is accurate.
A Cary man is being held with no bond after he called 911 saying that he killed his girlfriend. Travis Huff called 911 on February 19th saying he choked his girlfriend, Rebecca Carter. She was found dead in an apartment connecting to the leasing office of the storage company CubeSmart in Cary. She was the manager there. Carter is believed to be the victim of one of the 5 domestic violence-related homicides in North Carolina so far this year.
Last year in North Carolina, we found evidence of 90 domestic violence homicides in our state.
And that number opposed to 79 the year before. Data from the NC Coalition Against Domestic Violence shows homicide rates are spiking, mainly due to emotional turmoil in the home. Huff is due back in court on March 12th in connection with Carter's murder.
Only on WRAL News, a woman says a man attacked her on Lakeland Trail while walking her dog on Wednesday.
I see this guy. He's inches away from me with his arm raised up in the air like he's going to hit me. So I ducked because I thought I was about to get hit, and I started screaming. I said, "Oh my God, like, what's wrong with you?" And he didn't respond, just stared at me dead face.
Now, that's Katie Da Silva, and she filed a police report. Hours later, she learned 18-year-old Jakari Powell was arrested. He was charged with sexual battery of another woman on the same trail. According to the police report, Powell jumped on the back of a runner on Lakeland Trail and then made sexual motions. Da Silva posted Powell's photo online and heard from several other women in the area with the exact same experience. And she says she worries what would have happened if she didn't confront him.
Tomorrow will be Raleigh Police Chief Estella Patterson's last day on the job. The city is expected to name her replacement by tomorrow as well. Patterson is retiring after more than 3 years as RPD's chief. She says one of her biggest accomplishments has been reducing the number of officer vacancies. The city has 3 finalists to be the next chief. They are Raleigh Police Deputy Chief Rico Boyce, Commander Sonia Russell from the Detroit Police Department, and Commander Joshua Wallace from the Chicago Police Department.
The UNC system will not raise tuition for undergraduate students next year. The system approved tuition and fees yesterday for all of its member institutions. However, universities across the UNC system are increasing tuition for graduate students and out-of-state students. For example, UNC Chapel Hill increased its out-of-state undergraduate tuition by 10%. That's a little more than $43,000. Meanwhile, Duke will raise its tuition next school year. The university says it will cost more than $92,000 for next school year. Now, this year, it costs Duke undergraduate students more than $86,000. Duke joins several universities that charge more than $90,000 per year, and that includes Northwestern, Boston University, and Yale.
Improvements are coming to over 13 miles of US 1 in the southwestern part of Wake County. It's part of a $5.6 million grant. The State Department of Transportation will mill, resurface, and fix road shoulders just south of the Triangle Expressway and Chatham County line. It includes ramps at the New Hill-Holloman Road interchange, and work will start as early as mid-March. It's expected to be done by the fall.
Not spending speaks volumes. Why a grassroots organization is demanding an economic blackout today.
And returning to the rink. After nearly 5 years with closed doors, a popular skating rink reopens the new vibes at the decades-old gathering spot.
And it's comfortably cool out here this morning. Temperatures are mostly in the 40s. We'll start to see a fairly quick warm up. A really warm day Saturday, but I'll show you why Sunday won't feel anything like that coming up.
Getting a live look outside this morning at RDU, and I mean, could you ask for a more beautiful morning as we see beautiful blue skies? Still no plane during takeoff. Would you believe yesterday it actually happened after we went to meteorologist Elizabeth Garter, who is going to have your weather forecast for the weekend. She's out on the WRAL weather patio. It's a good day to get out and play some pickleball.
It is. Temperatures feel great. It's a little cooler than yesterday. So if you're doing something, that's fairly active outside, you won't get too hot with our high temperatures in the low 60s. Can you hear the birds out here? They're just having a big old party. I tell you what, they're everywhere. They're just chirping up a storm, having a big old time in this beautiful weather. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, all looking beautiful this morning. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. We take a look at our next big weather maker all the way out to Wednesday. But this one looks significant. This could be our first big front that brings severe storms this year. That cold front arrives late Wednesday. We'll see the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms. Again, our first real threat for severe weather this year. Gusty wind and heavy rain would be our biggest threat, and it will turn cooler behind that front. Here's a look at Futurecast, and you can watch that front developing and moving across the country. Right there's 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 8, 9 o'clock. So again, late afternoon into the evening is when we'll see that band of rain coming through, and it looks pretty hefty on that model. Of course, as we get into early next week, we'll get in the high-resolution models, and we'll get a much better idea of the timing and the strength of that system. But already, I mean, even starting yesterday, the Storm Prediction Center had us under this potential for some severe storms. They do what they call a 4 to 8 day outlook, kind of looking ahead, and they identified Wednesday. Now, of course, a little bit closer to time, about 3 days out, they'll end up putting in, it's a level 1, level 2, weather 3, and we'll explain what that means. Right now, we're just looking for the ingredients that we would need to see severe storms. Plenty of moisture, plenty of lift with our cold front. But will we have any spin in the atmosphere, and how much energy will it have? Will we see severe storms? We'll take a closer look at that when we get closer. How about tornadoes? Right now, this isn't looking like a huge tornado risk, but it's too early to tell. We average only 2 hurricanes in our part of the state here in March, but we average 6 in April and 5 in May. So those tend to be the times we see the bulk of our severe weather. How much rainfall out of this? Probably going to be anywhere from 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. And it looks like for the next 7 days, that's our best chance of rain. Saturday and Sunday, well, 2 completely different days. Saturday really warm, Sunday feeling like winter. Look at this. Saturday 74, Sunday is 47. We'll talk about the front that comes through Saturday night to bring us those big changes coming up.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're staying on top of that situation there on Globe Road in northern Wake County, right near the Briar Creek Parkway. Let's give you this live picture courtesy of photographer Charles Bradley. They just uprighted that truck that was overturned this morning. There was a person trapped in that vehicle. That person has since been taken to the hospital as a precaution. You can see the situation there with that utility pole, and traffic is getting through on the turn lane right now because a couple of those lanes are closed. We're working to find out exactly more information and when this would completely be repaired. But we know that the power company crew has been working diligently, and most of the folks in that area have their power back. Coming back here in the WRAL Traffic Center, we just got reports of a crash on the northern loop of the Beltline near Wake Forest Road with multiple injuries. We're working to figure out exactly what's going on and how much that's going to continue to affect your morning commute. As soon as we know that information, of course, I'll get it to you post haste. Now, you're coming into the capital city and any of our major routes, really the only troubled spot Friends in Wake Forest, you're looking at a 6-minute delay, but over in Durham, very little to no delays on any of the major routes short of I-885. We always see this time of the morning. You're looking at an 8-minute delay if you're taking I-85 into the Bowl City, just a 2-minute delay if you're leaving. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. Take us with you, shall we?
All right, thank you, Ken. Some North Carolina lawmakers are blasting a new bill that would ban state agencies from considering DEI policies in their hiring practices. Members of the Legislative Black Caucus say North Carolina could suffer economic consequences if this happens. They say the policies help agencies assemble the best teams to tackle problems across the state.
We're not talking about someone trying to injure people, cause harm, do anything negative. We are talking about trying to include individuals who have been excluded for the majority of the time to ensure that we have the best and the brightest.
Most Republicans in the state house support the bill, but it hasn't come up for a vote. Not just yet. We do have more information on this bill if you want to go over it at WRAL.com.
Hundreds of workers at the National Weather Service lost their jobs this week. A large cut came to employees who had been with the NWS for less than a year. Some people in critical positions like disaster forecasting were reportedly spared. In all, about 800 workers were terminated, with more layoffs possible today. The cause listed for their termination was poor performance.
The IRS has released its list of tax scams you may want to watch out for this year. These include phishing scams. That's where scammers pose as legitimate organizations in the tax and the finance community. They use unsolicited texts, emails, even calls to trick people into giving out personal and financial information. Another growing concern involves social media. Now, the IRS says incorrect information and posts can mislead people into tax avoidance, even identity theft, Michelle.
A grassroots organization is calling for a nationwide economic blackout today. The People's Union USA is asking Americans not to spend any money all day. The organizer of the group calling the move an act of resistance to protest corporate greed, income inequality, and more. Experts say, well, this has happened before. This time it's different.
But what's different is the calls for the economic blackout on Friday are not localized to an individual brand or an individual retailer, but are instead calling for consumers to really shut down their economic activity altogether.
And organizers encourage people to avoid buying anything online or from retail chains. It also includes gas and fast food. Another economic protest is planned for the end of March.
And in Franklin County, a new health facility will have its grand opening. The Franklin County Careplex will have its ribbon cutting in Lewisburg tomorrow at noon. The new facility will offer primary care, pediatrics, OBGYN, and other services.
President Trump will host Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House today. The visit comes as the Trump administration presses for a deal to end Russia's war on Ukraine. President Zelensky is expected to sign an agreement to share revenue from Ukrainian rare earth minerals with the U.S. in exchange for some form of security guarantees. President Trump has said that he wants Europe to take the lead on this front. The UK Prime Minister has said that Europe is prepared to step up to limit future Russian aggression. And Appalachian State University has a new chancellor. Heather Norris has served as interim chancellor since April, and system president Peter Hans recommended her, and the Board of Governors approved her yesterday. Norris was previously the Appalachian State provost and dean of the Business College. She begins as chancellor tomorrow.
A round of golf in Florida took a turn when an alligator showed up. Yeah, it's about the most Florida thing I'm going to read today. Billy Horschel scared off this gator with his club. Horschel was golfing at the PGA National in Palm Beach Gardens, and when he got up to the tee, he saw a police officer trying to shoo away the alligator. So Horschel decided to help out and poke the reptile with his club. This keeps getting more Florida as I read the story. He says he's not afraid of alligators because he's lived in Florida most of his life, and he's used to them.
Yeah, Chris and I have both lived in Florida.
We know what it's like.
Prior to North Carolina, and it's Florida. All right, well, Durham rolled out a landmark it spent the last few years renovating. The Wheels skating rink ribbon cutting was last night. Mayor Leonardo Williams was there to do the honor and then enjoy a skate himself. The rink welcomed families for decades before it closed in 2020, and people who live in the area say they're excited to see it back open.
It's just really something that we all miss. Like I said, growing up as a kid, coming here on the weekends, doing summer camps here, just coming skating for parties, events, it's just so much fun. I'm just happy that it's back open.
will be open tonight and through the weekend.
The town of Franklinton is getting ready to celebrate Mardi Gras. It's holding a Mardi Gras parade this weekend, and that's happening tomorrow starting at 1 p.m. at Texaco Station Park. The parade will make its way down Main Street to Front Street and then end at the Owl's Roost.
Two of America's most popular game shows are coming to streaming. Sony is shopping Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy to different platforms. The deal would give the streaming service access to new episodes every day after they air on TV. Roughly 7 million people watch each show on syndicated television. Sony hopes to have both shows available for streaming starting in September.
The annual cherry blossom season, it's just weeks away in D.C., and the beautiful display draws thousands of people to the city each year. The National Park Service says this year's peak bloom will be between March 28th and the 31st. The National Cherry Blossom Festival runs March 20th through the 13th.
Always so beautiful. All right, well, a new generation. Shrek is returning to the big screen. What a new trailer reveals about the next edition of the popular animated film.
And still following some serious stories, including why investigators now believe there is more to the deaths of actor Gene Hackman and his wife.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning and happy Friday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. We are in for a beautiful day. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner on the WRAL weather patio. Chilly start, though.
It is cool out here. Temperatures are in the 40s, but the sunshine's going to warm us up nicely. It's just a little bit cooler than it was yesterday. This is a live look at Sanford, and you can see all that blue sky there, town by town, looking mainly at 40s. We did jump to 51 there in Fayetteville. It's 45 in Garner, 40 in Cary, 46 degrees in Durham right now. Dog walking forecast, just fine. Throw the jacket on, you'll feel good. This evening, around 5 or 6 o'clock, temperatures will be close to 60 degrees. We're looking at a really warm day tomorrow, but a big drop in the temperature for Sunday.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, we have following some breaking news on the northern loop of the Beltline. This serious crash on I-440 near Wake Forest Road. We're told from our friends at Raleigh Wake 911 it involves multiple injuries. As we widen out the view, giving you a bigger picture of the Beltline, you can see that backup stretches all the way back to New Bern Avenue, where there's a crash on the Beltline in the eastbound lanes. I'll have an update on this situation at the bottom of the hour over on Fox 50.
Thanks, Ken. The man accused of killing Wake County Deputy Ned Byrd is back in the United States. The sheriff's office announced late last night that Alder Maureen Sotelo has been extradited from Mexico. Maureen Sotelo was indicted on first-degree murder in August of 2022 before fleeing the country. A trial date is still being set. And two men now face trafficking charges in connection to the disappearance of a 15-year-old from Harnett County. Austin Cole and Elihu Mahler were arrested after an Amber Alert was issued, and they are expected in court today. Both men are charged with felony human trafficking and kidnapping. Next on Fox 50, how new property assessments are going out in Durham. And next on Today, 5 skincare questions answered by a dermatologist.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Last night's front is moving off the coast, and what's behind it is some cooler temperatures for today and then a weather roller coaster for the weekend. I'll show you.
And return to the United States. The man accused of killing a Wake County deputy is extradited from Mexico. The next steps in the search for justice for Deputy Ned Byrd.
And asleep at the wheel. A man is in the hospital after an early morning crash in Raleigh. What we're learning from the scene on Globe Road. We have a report coming up in just a bit. They're very active in the video we've been showing you, including from Sky 5. Thanks for waking up with us this morning on WRAL News on Fox 50. It's Friday. We made it. I'm Chris Lovegood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yes, we made it. And we are in for another really nice day. Some beautiful blue skies to start. It is chilly. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner has her coat on outside on the WRAL weather patio, but you can take that off later.
Yes, I should be out here again at noon, and I should be able to take the coat off. But, I mean, it's still going to be in the low 60s. So, maybe just a sweater out here at that point. We take a look at the WRAL gardens, looking absolutely gorgeous. Nothing but sunshine. That sunshine feels really good right now. It's likely to be fairly light in terms of wind today, but the wind will really pick up tomorrow as another front heads our way. Right now, it is 46 degrees in the Triangle, a little west wind at around 3 miles per hour. And our temperatures are still mainly in the 40s. It is 51 in Fayetteville, 50 in Clinton. But But 48 in Rocky Mount, 45 in Roxborough, 43 right now in Southern Pines. And our temperatures are noticeably colder than yesterday, anywhere from around 5 to almost 15 degrees colder, depending on where you are. And we're looking at those high temperatures in the low 60s this afternoon. Yesterday, such a nice warm day. Tomorrow will be that nice warm day, but Sunday will not. And I'll explain why coming up. Ken?
Happening now in the WRAL traffic center. Boy, we got a situation brewing on the northern loop of the Beltline. This serious crash right now on I-440 westbound near Wake Forest Road. You can see the huge delays it's causing as we widen out the view and give you a big picture look at the Beltline this morning. That's a crash right there. The delays stretching all the way back to New Bern Avenue. Let's take you outside, give you a live look at those westbound lanes near New Bern Avenue. You can see the bumper traffic there in those westbound lanes in that northern loop of the Beltline. So you're coming in from Garner, you're coming in from All Point South. Maybe you want to take the southern loop of the Beltline as a result. Also, we got the 9 minutes coming into the capital city in terms of Wake Forest and US 1. That's usually the trouble spot this time of the morning. Over in the Bull City, all the major routes are delay-free, except for you're getting into Durham on I-80-85 this morning. You're looking at a 4-minute delay. We're also staying on top of that situation on Globe Road near Bryan Creek Parkway. A crash happened in the last hour and a half or so. Kelsey Coffey and photographer Charles Bradley is there to give you a first-hand account of what we're seeing so far. Kelsey.
Ken, it seems like this crash is now in the clearing process right now. We'll go ahead and give you a live look at crews working here. But Raleigh police say that a driver fell asleep at the wheel and hit a utility pole. So you may be able to see that utility pole there leaning to the side. But we'll show you some video now from Sky 5. This crash happened on Globe Road near Briar Creek Parkway. That's about 10 minutes away from the airport. Some power lines were impacted, so several homes in this area are without power, according to Duke Energy. If this area is a part of your morning commute, you really don't have much to worry about because they have put some cones out trying to redirect some of that traffic. But RPD says that driver was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Durham.
Man accused of killing Wake County Deputy Ned Byrd is back in the United States. The sheriff's office announced last night that Alder Maureen Sotelo had been extradited from Mexico. Here's WRAL's Eric Miller.
Alder Maureen Sotelo's escape has caused years of delays. Now he's due in court here in Wake County on Monday. Alder Maureen Sotelo escaped from the Piedmont Regional Jail in Virginia nearly 2 years ago. He managed to make it all the way to southern Mexico, the state of Guerrero, before being recaptured. Now that he's back in the U.S., he'll once again be facing first-degree murder charges in the death of Wake County Deputy Ned Byrd. This extradition is coming as good news to those who knew and worked alongside the deputy. Wake County Sheriff Willie Rowe saying in a statement, in part, "We have never stopped working to make sure that justice is served." Maureen Sotelo was extradited back to the U.S. along with 29 other people, including those charged with gun crimes, racketeering, and murder. Wake County DA Lauren Freeman has also been weighing in on this extradition, saying it will finally allow them to set a trial date in this case. In Raleigh, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
2 men are expected in court today in Harnett County in connection with an Amber Alert that was issued on Tuesday. Austin Cole and Elihu Mahler are facing felony human trafficking and kidnapping charges. The Amber Alert was sent out after a 15-year-old girl was taken. She was found in Dare County, nearly 200 miles away from her home. Investigators said the men interacted with the girl online. A second Amber Alert was issued yesterday, this one for a different 15-year-old girl from Siler City. She was missing for a week before the alert was issued, and now both girls have been found. Representatives from the Center of Missing Persons says that online activity is at the center of many disappearances like these.
Nationally and locally, the 15-year-old females, specifically minority females, they tend to go missing the most. Online enticement is becoming more and more of an issue.
It is unclear at this time whether the teen from Siler City was lured online. Despite the similarities, authorities say these cases are not connected.
A person is dead because a car hit them in Fayetteville. Police officers responded to Owen Drive near Nato Road last night, and when they arrived, they found a person who had been hit and killed. Now, that person's name has not been released, and there's no word released just yet on whether anyone is facing charges in this.
The circumstances of the deaths of actor Gene Hackman and his wife are now being called suspicious. They were found during a welfare check at their home in New Mexico on Wednesday. Investigators say Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa have been dead for some time when they were found. Authorities say pills were scattered near Arakawa's body. They also say there were no signs of a gas or carbon monoxide leak. The sheriff's office still does not suspect foul play, but they do say it is suspicious.
Iowa lawmakers removed gender identity protections from the state's civil rights code, and they're the first in the nation to approve this type of legislation. This happened despite protests. Opponents argue this action could expose transgender people to discrimination. The measure now goes to Republican Governor Kim Reynolds. She signed earlier policies banning sports participation and public bathroom access for transgender students.
5 former defense secretaries have denounced President Trump's firing of several top military leaders. In a letter released last night, they called the firing of leaders like the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Charles Brown, a decision made, quote, for purely partisan reasons. The Trump administration has given no official reason for the firings, but said administrations can make changes to military personnel. General Brown has been replaced by a lower-ranked military officer.
Starting today, new appraisals for property owners in Durham are going in the mail. This is the first reappraisal in Durham since before the pandemic. Many people will be seeing big increases in value and in their taxes, too. Once you receive your reappraisal in the mail, you can go to the county's website to review the values. You can then compare them to market price and verify the listing is accurate. Red Hat Amphitheater had a record-breaking concert season last year. The venue is downtown Raleigh, contributed nearly $34 million in economic impact. That is nearly double what it brought in the year before. In 2024, Red Hat welcomed more than 280,000 people to 50 concerts. Those include sellout shows from artists such as Lainey Wilson, and big events such as Music for the Mountains benefiting Western NC helped too.
Johnston County Public Schools is hoping to fill some jobs this weekend. Tomorrow, the district is holding a job fair. It's happening from 9 a.m. until noon at the Smithfield-Selma High School. They are looking to hire teachers, school counselors, office support, and bus drivers. You can register for that online.
And in Franklin County, a new health facility will have its grand opening. The Franklin County Careplex is what I'm talking about. It'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony in Lewisburg. That's tomorrow at noon. The new facility will offer primary care, pediatrics, OBGYN, and other services.
From the Lenovo Center to your living room, the Carolina Hurricanes are fighting for a spot in the playoffs. How you can watch next week's game free on WRAL.
Pointing blame at pilots. Why the Transportation Secretary says pilots are responsible for recent aviation incidents and how he plans to address this.
And you'll have clear, sunny skies to enjoy today as we look live over Fayetteville. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will help you plan your weekend just ahead. Welcome back on your Friday morning, 8:43 as we take a live look over Wilson. Nice and sunny, blue skies. You can see some of the whirligigs going there. It's going to be a beautiful day. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is outside on the WRAL weather patio in her jacket. You do need a light jacket today.
I would call it refreshing out here this morning. That sun feels really good that's behind me, but there's just, like you said, just a hint of a breeze. You can see the whirligig spinning just a touch, and it is cool. It's noticeably cooler than it was yesterday. We take a live look at the gardens behind me. Hey, we're a month away from the azaleas popping out, and boy, we get into March and so many things bloom. We tend to see, the pear trees blooming, lots of the bulbs, and then eventually the azaleas. It's such a pretty time of year, and we have plenty of pretty weather in store. 46 is our current temperature. Yesterday we climbed officially to 77, and today it'll be just in the low 60s, so a little bit cooler. Right now it's 50 in South Hill and Goldsboro, 52 in Clinton, 51 in Fayetteville, and 46 in Durham and up in Roxborough. We zoom in a little closer here on Wake County. It's 43 in Apex, 47 in Holly Springs, 48 in Garner, and 48 up in Wake Forest. So mostly in the mid to upper 40s right now. A high 63 in Raleigh. We'll see 62 in Durham and 67 in Fayetteville for today. Looking absolutely beautiful. A course, we had a cold front come through last night, and that's what's brought our temperatures down today. We'll move the front ahead, and I'm going to pause it right here because tomorrow, out ahead of the front, we're going to see a surge of warmth coming in. So tomorrow, we're back into the mid-70s. But then another front comes through. This is our next weather maker, which comes through Saturday night. It's dry but windy, and look at the cold air. Boy, those purples start to drag down into North Carolina. It will feel much colder on Sunday and Monday, too. 59 is our normal high. We go from 74 today to 47 Sunday. I kind of like how we just, flip the numbers around. And then the morning lows are cold, too. 37 is our normal low, 27 on Monday. So we are not done with freezing temperatures just yet. We tend to see the last, say, frost or freeze in that first week of April and the last hard killing freeze at the end of March. So, again, we do have a ways to go. It's a temperature roller coaster, though, I'll tell you what. 74 Saturday, 47 Sunday. We're back to 74 on Wednesday, but that's a day that we could see some storms.
Thanks, Elizabeth. A contractor investigated by 5 on Your Side for years is going back to prison. Roger Simmons served time in 2019 for serious issues with his work. After his release, we found him going by the name Dale Jr. while taking thousands of dollars from new customers without finishing their projects. Simmons was arrested and entered an Alford plea on 7 felony counts. This means that he does not admit guilt, but realizes there is enough evidence to convict him. Simmons was sentenced Wednesday to more than 6 years in prison. He was recommended for the work release program so he can start paying back the $85,000 that he owes his victims.
And Jeff, over to the WRAL Live Center. I want to take you right to this Sky 5 video here on the Beltline right now. You can see the backups that are being caused right now. There is at least three car wreck right at Wake Forest Road. Okay, this is a westbound lane of I-440. And several miles of delays stretching back, as you can see here. Multi-vehicle accident there. RPD is on the scene right now. You see how far back this backup goes. Now, if you're coming in westbound on 440 on the Beltline here, that is going to cost you some time here, certainly this morning. We're going to get back to the front of this. As you see, it's right at the Wake Forest Road exit. A couple of cars there into the guardrail. They're in the cleanup phase of this. That's the good thing. And cars are getting by right now. It's just super slow because of the volume of traffic right now at this hour. So we'll keep an eye on it for you.
Goodness, if we didn't have Sky 5 there, we wouldn't see the true scope of the backup. Goodness. Thank you, Jeff. After recent plane crashes and close calls, U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says human error is to blame for this. While visiting the FAA's Air Traffic Control Academy in Oklahoma, Duffy got a hands-on look at what it takes to become a controller. Duffy told NBC's Tom Costello that he believes pilots are the issue.
They're all very unique. But I do think in all of them, and again, not exclusively, not 100%, but a majority probably of the errors go to the pilots, right? There's some pilot error at play in each of these incidents.
In some of the recent crashes and close calls, the FAA is investigating the pilots. After hearing from air traffic control students, Duffy announced steps to attract what he calls the best and the brightest. This includes fast-tracking students with the highest application test scores, accelerating the hiring process, and a 30% pay hike for academy students.
The Wake County Animal Center is launching free rabies and microchip clinics in March. The first one will be Sunday, March 9th. It'll be at Dorcas Ministries and Cary from 10 in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Each event will be held at different locations. You can find more information on the Wake County Animal Center's website. And the road to the Stanley Cup is coming right to your living room, and you can watch it live on WRAL. Watch the Canes and newly acquired superstar Mikko Rantanen battle it out with the Boston Bruins, who are fighting for a playoff spot in the East. You can watch the game next Thursday at 7 p.m. on WRAL. Blue Origin has a historic human spaceflight launching from Texas this spring, and the crew will be all women. The 6 women who are going up include journalist Gayle King, pop star Katy Perry, Jeff Bezos' fiancée Lauren Sanchez, and also film producer Carrie Ann Flynn. They will be joined by a former NASA rocket scientist and a bioastronautics research scientist, also women. I can barely, bioastronautics, it's a mouthful to say. I mean, these women
all
are
the
just
adjectives
amazing.
to add on to it.
I know. It's amazing, though. It's going to be so great.
All right. So, as you know, look at me trying to talk over the opening. Look at me. So, March is tomorrow, and with this is coming festivals, parades, and a lot of fun activity.
Yeah, WRAL's Kathy Hanrahan joins us now with a look at the events happening this weekend, the big events, Kathy.
Yeah, let's start off with an event tonight. Very popular children's performer, Blippi. If you're not a fan of Blippi, it means you do not have tiny children in your home. Blippi, YouTube star, him and his friend Mika are going to be in town for a special show over at Durham Performing Arts Center. Lots of music, lots of dancing. Tickets are still available. They start at $39.
That's a lot of fun.
Another big family-friendly event this weekend. The Raleigh Retro Gamers are having a market. This is their first market of the year. It's happening from noon to 5. It's happening on Saturday, and there's going to be more than 85 gaming vendors, a children's zone, cosplay contest. Admission is free.
That's going to be fun.
I was going to say that.
Just for a little bit. I'll go for a little bit.
That's Chris's style.
Look,
right there.
I love the Raleigh Retro Gamers. That's my crowd here.
And of course, we're wearing green, which is one of the colors from Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is happening on Tuesday, and you can start celebrating this weekend in Durham. They're going to be having an event on Sunday over at the Scrap Exchange in Durham. They're going to have a daytime celebration from 1 to 5. You can make costumes, hats, shoebox, floats, all kinds of stuff. And they're going to have live music and parades. And on, of course, Tuesday, Durham's going to hold their big event, big walk-in parade and everything.
You had green on, I had green, Renee, but someone didn't get
I'm
the
so sorry. Maybe if you squint your eyes a little bit, you can pretend that I'm wearing green today. All right, thank you, Kathy. And to see a list of events coming up this March, go to WRAL.com and search Out and About. Well, Hollywood getting dressed up for another star-studded evening. Conan O'Brien will host the 97th Academy Awards on Sunday night. Emilia Perez leads with 13 nominations, while The Brutalist and the movie musical Wicked have 10 nods each. Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, Queen Latifah, Doja Cat are all scheduled to perform.
A new comedy movie starring Molly Shannon and Kumail Nanjiani are set to film in Wilmington next month. It's called Driver's Ed. Filming kicks off Monday, March 10th. IMDb says the film is about a group of teenagers that steals their school's driver's ed vehicle. They then go on a road trip to help a student track down his girlfriend and hopefully win her back. Bobby Farrelly will be directing this film. He's been a part of the Dumb and Dumber films and There's Something About Mary. Bill Burr has a new comedy special on the way, and Zendaya joins a beloved franchise. Ashley Dvorkin has all this and more in this morning's Hollywood Nation.
I want to get to know the real you.
The Candor's sci-fi drama, Butler and Ronan's new romance, and Zendaya goes green in the Hollywood Nation. Zendaya has joined the cast of Shrek 5. Universal Pictures released a teaser clip announcing she will play the daughter of Shrek and Fiona, with Mike Myers and Cameron Diaz reprising those roles. Eddie Murphy also returns as the voice of Donkey. The film arrives in theaters December 3rd, 2026. Austin Butler and Saoirse Ronan are teaming up for their next project. According to Deadline, the duo will star in the book-to-screen adaptation Deep Cuts. The film chronicles the love story between a music-obsessed couple in their 20s navigating their ambitions, belonging, and adulthood in the 2000s.
You have no idea what is going on.
Bill Burr goes for more laughs in today's First Looks. Disney released the trailer for the hilarious comedy special, Bill Burr Drop Dead Years. The one-hour show features the comedian sharing his take on everything from male sadness to dating advice. It premieres on Hulu March 14th.
I need to assess all aspects of your relationship.
The trailer for The Assessment stars Alicia Vikander, Elizabeth Olsen, and Himesh Patel. The sci-fi thriller is set in a near future when parenthood is strictly controlled, and a couple undergoes a 7-day assessment for the right to have a child, which turns into a psychological nightmare. It arrives in theaters March 21st.
End of test.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Look, you toss Elizabeth Olsen in anything, I'm going to watch it. I love it.
She's great. She's fantastic.
It's her range because she can play silly, she can play serious, and everywhere in between. I love it.
Fantastic. I love it.
Hey, before we go to break, we do have a look at your winning lottery numbers. We did not forget about you, and we're going to get you another check on weather and traffic, including that situation on I-440 West. Jeff brought that to us in the WRAL Live Center, where there is a large backup happening right now. We'll, of course, get you an update on that, including what we know about any potential injuries in this crash.